The raging Marshall Fire burned through the final days of 2021.
It was one of those I could live 100 lifetimes and I would never forget that day.
But the repercussions are still being felt a year later. It was the most destructive wildfire in Colorado's history, and rebuilding took determination and patience, getting permits and crews, navigating the health concerns. But out of the ashes came stories of triumph, and the rebuilding continues. Coloradans poured their hearts out to help the Marshall Fire victims.
Okay, I guess we're gonna cut the ribbon now.
And we saw that same generosity when migrants from the country's southern border started arriving in Denver in December by the busload. The city closed rec centers and asked for help from nonprofits and even citizens to find shelter while addressing the crisis. But the mayor said the feds need to step up their game.
This is a clarion call to our elected officials at the federal level to put aside politics and recognize the humanitarian crises that have come to our borders and have now put a strain on cities all over this country to respond.
Adding to the pressure, dangerous Arctic cold arrived on December 21st. Temps fell 61 degrees in 24 hours, diving below zero into the coldest numbers we haven't seen in 3 decades. Sadly, some numbers we saw climb: deaths due to fentanyl. In one case in February, 5 people died after taking cocaine laced with fentanyl.
No drug is safe right now. People who are taking drugs and not knowing that fentanyl is laced within them are dying.
A 4-month-old baby was there in their parents' apartment. The child's parents died. The DEA special agent in charge of Colorado compares the drug to a weapon of mass destruction.
DEA estimates that 1 kilogram, which is 2.2 pounds, can kill up to 500,000 people if lethal doses are ingested.
The DEA estimates 1 kilogram, that's just 2.2 pounds, could kill up to 500,000 people if lethal doses are ingested. Because I-25 and I-70 cross here in the metro area, Colorado is considered a real distribution point for the rest of the country for fentanyl. Our state had a record number of fentanyl seizures, including one of 45 pounds, or millions of doses, at the beginning of December. And the state also found itself at the crossroads of the midterm elections, especially in the 3rd Congressional District, where fiery Republican incumbent Lauren Boebert was expected to win easily. Instead, she held off Democratic challenger Adam Frisch by just about 500 votes.
I think the big takeaway from what I've seen and from what I've heard from constituents is I'm right on the policies, but everyone is ready for Washington, D.C. to kind of take the temperature down a notch.
Frisch said the razor-thin margin points to even Republicans tiring of Boebert's behavior and tweets.
When I talk about people want the circus to stop, that resonates with a lot of people.
That same month, Colorado found itself back in an all too familiar place in the national news as a person opened fire in Club Q, a gay bar in Colorado Springs. 5 people died, 17 others were wounded.
These are our brothers and sisters from our community.
2 patrons at the club that night, Richard Fierro and Thomas James, tackled the shooter. Fierro even encouraging a performer to kick that person in the face with their heels.
I gotta kill this guy. He's gonna kill my kid. He's gonna kill my wife. He ended up killing my daughter's boyfriend.
This arrest led to renewed questions about the red flag laws in Colorado after we learned a prior case against the suspect involving threats and bombs was dismissed when their grandmother wouldn't testify. That suspect now faces 305 charges in the mass shooting.
We're not going to tolerate actions against community members based on their sexual identity.
But even out of this tragedy, Rose Hope is one of those heroes. James, a U.S. Navy petty officer 2nd class, said he acted because he simply wanted to save the family he had found.
And you can revisit the big moments from the past year on our website, cbscolorado.com. We've gathered them all in one section for you, so we're going to be updating it every day going into the new year.